I have a challenge for all of you here. As you know, the new Manu season is around the corner, and since it will be an exhibition, I thought it might be a good time to spice things up a little. The challenge is to pick BMW with the Z4 as your Group 3 pick and compete in the upcoming season. The lowest point scorer of those of us taking up the challenge must do a forfeit. The forfeit is 5 laps of the Nürburgring in the Samba bus. If you want to join in this challenge in an effort to make me have to do this forfeit, react with a tick. G'day everyone, I'm Smokescreen and welcome back to another video, and here we go with the brand new FIA Manufacturers Series for 2021 to 2022. It's an exhibition series, which means there's no World Tour at the end of it, there's no prize for being the top. So we're going with something a little bit different, in line with the challenge brought upon us by Atom. We're going to be selecting BMW. We've only got the one Group 4 pick, and it's a good Group 4 pick at that. The BMW M4 Group 4. We're going to be selecting that one to thrash around in the Group 4 races. And then for Group 3, there she is, the Z4. Absolute beast of a machine. And it was at this point where I was beginning to wonder if I was making the right choice, whether I was beginning to regret the decision that I hadn't even made yet. And I mean, we'll see by the end of the video exactly whether we do regret it, but I decided to go all in and sign it with my actual handwriting. It's funny how they get how they get that right in every single game. But here we go, taking delivery of our beautiful machines that we're going to be using this season, a 10-round season, the first round of which is at Dragon Trail Seaside in the Group 3 car, so the first outing in the Z4, a car we've never driven before either, so it will certainly be very interesting. And as we head up to our handshake here, that right there, my friends, is the look of regret. That's the look of pain and anguish, especially regarding the car sitting over on the right-hand side of the screen. But that's it, BMW we are. That's the one we've gone with. So that's what we have to deal with. And the reason it's such kind of a big deal that it's the Z4 is because the Z4 is pretty much, it's just widely accepted to be one of the worst cars in Group 3, and that's sort of the point of the challenge. That's the point of the challenge set upon us by Atom, is that we just have to basically do the best we can in one of the worst cars in Group 3. Now, I knew it was bad, and we'll see by the end of the video just how bad it actually is. But first of all, Dragon Trail Seaside, we're going out for qualifying, and we have the main point of contention at this track. Chicane of Death. We have to try and get confident through there, and we have to make sure we get through there consistently every time and not run into the barriers, especially in the second half. And slipstream is also going to be quite crucial driving the Z4. So here's the first rendition of the chicane. These last two corners, slamming it over the curbs as fast as we possibly can, getting as close as we dare with the barriers, which never seems to be close enough when you see the lap time after. But anyway, we're going to go out for qualifying, and we've got the lovely slipstream off the back of Capcom driving the Mercedes. We definitely need a slipstream driving the Z4 because it's crap in the line, it's crap in the corners, it needs every bit of help you can get. It's going into turn 1, braking just after the 150 meter board, I think it is, and then just use these curbs to your advantage, getting the car tipped in on top of the curbs and using them to pull the car around, coming up into the flying right-hander of turn 5, turning in before the Rini sign on the right-hand side of your screen and braking just as the grass starts on the left for turn 6. Get on the power nice and gently in second gear, running down the hill through turn 7, which is this right-hander, into turn 8, 9 and 10, turning in just as the colour changes on the left-hand side of the barrier, hooking onto that left-hand curb, hooking onto this right-hand curb to try and keep it flat out as we run up here, nice and flat through turn 10 as well. We're nipping through the shallow kink of turn 11, down the hill towards turn 12, braking just after the 150 meter board, and we're going to stick it in second gear on this particular occasion, try and get a nice smooth power application on the exit and don't run too wide because the corner continues to curve to the right. Chicane of Death, it's flat the first two parts, and then just for comfort we'll have to do quite a big lift just to get the car through. You can do it flat if you get it absolutely perfect, but the risk there is obviously hitting the barriers. Final turn just before the 100 meter board. Quite a wide entry, and we're just going to be using this curb on the exit, getting onto the power as early as we possibly can. Not sure if we have the slipstream off the back of the Renault RS 01 up ahead, but we're going to head up towards the line, and it's only going to be a 37.2. That's quite a woeful lap time, to be honest. Really awful. So we're going to have to continue on for qualifying. A notable thing for qualifying too is the tyre wear, along with the fuel, and is now switched off. No tyre wear in quali, and I think that's really good because you really only had one shot despite there being a whole 5 minutes because of the tyre wear. We're going to finish up this lap. It's not been too bad, I guess. It's only a 37.3. Wow, that's awful. Should have got a mid-36 there. So yeah, that's my live reaction, something I've introduced now. I'm recording my voice during the race and then putting snippets in the form of like a team radio type thing like Formula 1. But as for now, let's just enjoy the Manufacturer Series introduction. Lovely as always, and we don't meet ourselves on the grid because we're at the back. Our qualifying time was absolutely awful, and we qualified in P17 out of 20 cars on the grid. My best qualifying time at this point in practice was like a 136.6 or something, or 0.5. 36.5, that was our best quali of the day, so the fact that we're still stuck in the 37s is absolutely terrible. But just because we start on the corner, we've got to be really careful, unlike that guy. See you later, mate. Goodness me, poor bloke. Poor bloke, indeed. So his race is ruined before it even started, before he even crossed the line for the first time. So we don't have a slipstream coming into turn 2, but it's all good because there's quite a large gap behind to go with the large gap ahead. We're just going to have to deal with the cold tyres to start off with, which are a step harder than the ones we were just using in qualifying. We're on the racing mediums to start the race, so 2 tyre compounds available, the mediums and the softs, both are mandatory. Oh, as we absolutely smash the curb there. So that's not set myself a very good precedent at all for the race, just slamming the inside curb, and then I get a penalty to boot as well. An absolute disaster to start us off. So we're going to have to serve this, and with that corner actually, turn 5, is going to prove to be the bane of my existence in this race, and this really put me on the back foot to start off because we're now going to have to serve this penalty. We got the close attention of the Subaru behind now because we messed it up. Dirty tyres through the S's as well. Obviously all these things compounding, meaning basically my car is about 10 times as worse than it already is, which is already pretty terrible. So the Subaru makes quick work of us. Didn't really make it hard for him. I didn't really want to, because basically at the early stages of the race, you're just looking to minimise the time loss. We get through the Chicane of Death. Okay, not too bad to start us off, and we're going to have to serve this penalty on the next lap. A little bit awkward with the Mercedes behind. I didn't quite know which way to go, but he just managed to find his way past. So we're down into 18th through the chicane. This time any deaths to report of? No, but we get a bit of a run on the Mercedes up ahead. With the help of Slipstream, we're going to head down the inside at the final corner. I think the Porsche up ahead, the bright neon green Porsche, has also had a bit of an issue because it's come back into the picture. But we get up the inside of the Mercedes at turn 18, skip ahead to the Chicane of Death. Oh, the Porsche's been claimed. The Porsche got absolutely taken out. So that is no good for the Porsche. We've also now got a bit of a run on this Subaru, and yellow flag is out. Capicon goes very wide, so we've made up a couple of positions there. Is there going to be another position to gain on the exit of the final turn? The Subaru's almost got half an overlap there, and I think the source of the yellow flag just about cleared itself up by the time we got onto the scene of the accident. And we're up into 14th, so look, the start of the race, hitting that curb to start off was obviously not what I wanted, but I think we're just falling into a bit of a rhythm now as we get through the chicane. A Corvette has also had an issue now, so that is really a theme of Dragon Trail. So many deaths because there's so many places you can bin it, and we go conservative and just hang behind the Corvette, and the Subaru just completely takes advantage of me and gets his job and gets the job done at the final turn. Flash of the hazards as well, just to communicate he actually wants to work together, and I'm actually going to oblige with that one, give him a little bit of bump down the straight, and it's going to put him within range of the Corvette to go for a move. Let's see what he does. Almost, actually definitely sending it up the inside. The Corvette's a little bit wide. Do we get a look into at this one? Or not quite. We don't get the momentum through the first chicane. The Corvette just really squeezes the Subaru on the exit there. So now I'm beginning to lose time, having to lift and downshift a gear coming into turn 5 and make sure we don't run into the back of the Subaru, who's on the brakes very early. Try not to run into the back of the Corvette. They're almost looking to go side by side down through the fast flying S's in the middle part of the lap. That is not what you want, so we're just going to have to fall in line astern again. It's not quite been the bit of working together that I actually envisioned, because I feel as though I'm now losing time as we get on the curb. On the exit here, little bit of understeer on the exit there. Just going to have to watch that dirty air because it's really pronounced, especially in those grip limited corners. As the Subaru sends it down the inside of the Corvette, I run into the back of the Corvette too, so I just have to concede that position and make sure I don't go past, because that would have been quite quite a questionable move there. Damn it. Flaming idiot. Gotta catch up again now. And exactly as I said in the race at the time, I've now got to do all the work again. Yellow flag's out, and on the exit of turn 1 or turn 2 or 3, we've got a car off, and we've now got the close attention of this neon Porsche, who makes quick work of us at turn 12, just sending it down the inside with the superior braking capabilities of that Porsche 911, and we've lost that position up into 16th or down. And look how close we get to the chicane here. I've popped it in slow-mo just to have a look on both walls. Just absolutely no space on either side of my car, and someone ducks into the pits in the end of lap 6. So we're now up into 15th, and we can start to think about our pit stop as the Corvette looks to go down the inside of the Porsche at turn 1. It gives him the outside for turn 2, and I'm not quite sure why the Porsche's got its hazards on there. It is proving itself to be a little bit of a hazard, but we have to just think about the pit stops now. The Z4 is basically good at nothing. It's crap on tyres, crap on fuel, crap in the corners, crap on the straights. There's really nothing it's good at, and that's why it's so bad. So we can't really gamble to extend the soft stint to try and match some of these better cars around us. So we're kind of hemmed in terms of our strategy. We're really forced to do like maximum 7 laps on the soft tyre, because we've started on the medium. We just have to offset that with the medium stint and make sure we only leave the 7 laps to do as we understeer off the track again. Just so painful, just so much understeer there, and we have to just clear the dirt off the tyres. Oh man, the dirty air. The dirty air just caught me out, and I completely understeered. So I've now lost a load of time on this lap when I've got other people around me who have gone for their pit stop. The leaders all pit there on the soft tyres, of course, and as we exit the final turn, the Corvette goes in and another car up ahead goes in, and that's the end of lap 7. I would have had to do 8 laps on the soft tyres, and that's just too long in the Z4. I'm really forced to go around one more time, and that just opens myself up to an undercut. So all those cars that are pitted now, as we come out just behind the Alfa Romeo, we're going to send it down the inside at turn 2, and about halfway, right about here, I kind of realise it's actually not a good idea, because whatever tyre that Alfa is on, it's going to be quicker than me, so I probably should have just hung in behind and taken advantage of the slipstream of the Alfa Romeo. So I've kind of backed off, given him a little bit of space now, and we're just going to be doing our best as we just send it wide at turn 6. So the tyres are just dropping off now, even the mediums are dropping off. And yeah, this car sucks, man. Well, I don't even need to say that sentence now because I already said it for you. We're going to duck into the pits at the end of lap 8, leaving 7 laps to go on the soft tyres that we're switching over to. Thank you very much to the BMW boys. I don't know what to do, I'm trying. So yeah, I just felt so helpless really because I was trying my absolute best. I was driving at 100% basically. This car was just not responding to me. It just wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. It wasn't turning, it wasn't braking, it just couldn't accelerate. The slipstream was crap, I couldn't get it stopped. There was just nothing to like about this car at this combination. And we come out in 16th. We've slammed the barrier, so a semi-death at the Chicane of Death. So it's all of a sudden becoming the chicane of mild injury, and the Subaru that we had the close attention of on the exit of the pits just makes his way up the inside at the final turn. So we're back down into 17th. We do have the slipstream of the Subaru now, and it's beginning to look very difficult to even consider that we may get more positions other than 15th just up the road. We know the Porsche driver in 15th is quite prone to making an error or two, so we're just going to have to keep an eye out for that one and capitalise if that does happen again. I can say that generally if you start to make a couple of mistakes, you probably will start to end up making more mistakes because you end up focusing on the mistakes earlier in the race and you get distracted. Just as this Subaru driver has been distracted, he got the first of the S's wrong, it's put him out of sequence for the rest of it, so we've caught up a load of ground there, taking advantage of the poor line taken by that Subaru. He defends to the inside, but we've easily got the overspeed to get actually that overtake done before we even touch the brakes for turn 12. Cluttered the curb on the inside up into 16th. And that was kind of the story until we saw this. The Porsche binned it. So just as predicted, that is no good for the Porsche. And we're going to come around again on the following lap. Yellow flag's out again. And someone's binned it. So Valtteri Bottas sums that up beautifully. Fatigue. And I sum that up quite beautifully myself. Fatigue starting to come into it. And really, in the latter stage of the race, well, the yellow flags come out again. Later stage of the race, fatigue starts to set in, just as this Mazda RX Vision has aptly demonstrated for us. It was crashed on the final turn, that's very painful, and we got up into 13th at the end, across the line. What an awful race. Oh man, 13th. I went up spots. Now I'm the only one that got a penalty. Wow, I'm the only one that got a penalty. I don't know what else I could have done. I have no idea what else I could have done. So feeling a bit helpless at the end of that race, I just did the absolute best I could, and I just couldn't get the pace out of the car. It was just really degrading, to be honest. 149 points, it's about 70 points shy of what I'd consider to be something I might leave and not go again, so it was a very easy decision for me to look at the 149 and immediately decide I'm going to go again. So that's exactly what I'm doing. We're gone again. And, you know, we have a look at the lobby here. Someone's gone again with 199 points. Someone's gone again with 281, and we meet ourselves at a halfway through, coming towards the Chicane of Death of our first qualifying lap, behind the Ferrari driven by Ashton GT. So we got a nice slipstream for the lap here, through the chicane. Let's make sure we don't crash. Not the best of lines through there, just getting too unsettled by the curb. We still have the slipstream of the Ferrari. We're going to be coming up towards the line for their first lap, a 36.6. That's much better in terms of the pace that I was putting down in practice in the Z4, and we can continue on here with no detriment whatsoever because the tyre wears off. We're just going to stick with this lap a little bit, just fast forwarding through. We've got the slipstream of the Ferrari all the way through, just dropping off the back of him, heading through the fast flying S's. The dirty air really not, the dirty air not helping. Coming up to the Chicane of Death, we just have to make sure we get through here at least better than we did last time. And I think we carried a bit more speed then. Still in the slipstream of the Ferrari, up towards the final turn. Out of the final turn, up towards the line. A slight improvement, a 36.5. So, it's 1.8 seconds off the pace. Set by Remax RB26, who... Oh man, that was my absolute limit, that. And it's like they're going to be the same spot as before. Oh my god. 36.5. That's literally the quickest I've gone. Oh my god. So the reaction after that, as you can tell, I was quite exasperated with there. So ultimately I qualified in 16th, and we're going to start off this race on the medium tyres, make sure we don't spin out like the other car did, and we actually nearly did there. But we haven't got the slipstream, but it's really not going to matter, because by lap 4 I'm going to clatter this curb and spin out. I wish you could see my face right now. I wanted to swear so bad then. What an absolute disaster. Down in last, there's nothing I can do from here. 3-4 seconds off the back of the field. I managed to gain a couple of position from some quitters and some crashes and some pitters, but ultimately it was only 15th with a point downgrade to 124. So I have to go again, and this is that race, qualified kind of in the same position with a similar qualifying lap, and coming up towards the turn 5 curb once again. Oh, you know it, baby! Off I go once again. Is that deja vu? And that was probably an even worse crash than last time, taking way too much more speed compared to before. Oh my god! What is wrong with me? The night was waning on. I was getting more and more frustrated with each race. 118 points now, so the graph is going very swiftly downhill, plummeting downhill. So we're going to have to go again for the 4th slot. The race was at midnight, so this was after midnight. Right now, the footage you're watching, ridiculous, because I really wanted to have my result in the first 2 races. So that's our quali time, a 136.7 that time, not bad. But have a look on the right. Have a look on the left-hand side. I'm 19th out of everyone that's qualified. You've got Eisen Quali, who's not set a time yet. That's why there's no time gap, or that could also denote an identical time. But either way, it's still not very good at all. So we were even pretty much on the first split. We're pretty much even on the second split. We're going to have to absolutely nail this last sector to get a couple of tenths of improvement.
Kill him. Kill him now.
It was my turn. It was my turn. At least it happened in quali and not in the race. But Eisen Quali set a quali time, and it left me qualifying in P20, and the race was similar to the first one, just with no pace. Yeah, we did have an okay race with Max Mayhem, but it was for no points. 101. I'm speechless. I've got no words for you. An absolutely terrible round to start off. So, yep, you take the most recent points result. So, if you get a result, it's up to you whether you want to go again and risk losing it for less points, or for a chance of bettering it. And that's what I did in the first slot. And the thing that gets me is that even with the hindsight, I still would have probably gone again on the 149, because I generally don't even consider keeping a result unless it's at least 200 plus points. If it's over 200, I will start to consider the pros and cons of keeping it. Over 220, it would probably have to be a very awesome combo for me to want to go again. And yeah, any 230 plus I'll probably keep no matter the combo, but 149, it's not something where keeping those points would even cross my mind. So I was always going to go again, and I just don't get it. I just don't know how to drive that Z4, and it was really, really painful. It was really embarrassing, because, I watched Atom's race, and I don't know what I was doing differently, I'll be completely honest. Because I was watching him drive, he got like 270 point result in the split above in first slot. So his night was one and done with an awesome result, and congratulations to him, because that car is, a massive handicap, and he's managed to find out how to get the pace out of it, but it just hasn't clicked with me. And I watched his race, watched his telemetry to try and find where I might have been going wrong, and it was really difficult for me to try and point out one massive thing that I was doing differently to him, for him to pull out so much more lap time than me. I just don't get it. He was driving it seemingly effortlessly, and I was pretty much driving on the limit of what I could in that car. So it's just a disaster and not a great start. So, on an unrelated note, please do let me know if you find an awesome Samba bus livery, perhaps even Nürburgring inspired. Completely unrelated note. But anyway, we're going to have to move on. Round 2 is Suzuka in Group 4. I might give it a go. Generally, I don't really enjoy Suzuka, but with a brand new Group 4 car, and it being the M4 Group 4, which is ultimately quite a solid Group 4 car, it probably is worth giving it a go. Because if I can qualify better, which I probably could with the better car, I could just bring home a decent result even at a round I would have skipped anyway, so do keep an eye out for that. But that's going to finish up this video today, so do hit the like button if you enjoyed, and do subscribe if you'd like to see more videos and streams from me. Do leave a comment as well. Questions, comments, and constructive criticism, as always, very much appreciated. But that's going to be the end of this one today, and that means that is it from me. So once again, I do thank you very much for watching. See you later.